Hey there, We Stand Corrected podcast listeners. It's Justin Sider here. And let me tell you something fatherhood is a beautiful thing. It's also a whole lot of sleepless nights, questionable science experiments involving macaroni and cheese, and enough juice boxes to drown a damn elephant. Don't get me wrong, I love the little ones, but after kid number 3, well, let's just say I decided to take responsibility and close up shop. Look, I ain't exactly known for my fancy doctor visits. Heck, the last time I went to a doc, it was for a prize fight with a rogue squirrel over a particularly plump acorn. So when We Stand Corrected told me about this new DIY vasectomy kit, well, consider me intrigued. Now, I ain't going to lie, the instructions were a little light on the details. Step 1, locate the fine jewels. Step 2, some vague mumbling about the tools that looked suspiciously like hedge trimmers. But hey, I'm a cider. We ain't afraid of a little DIY project. Let me tell you, that afternoon was eventful. There may have been some yelping, some questionable use of duct tape, and enough disinfectant to fumigate a rodeo. But hey, I persevered. And you know what? It worked. Maybe a little too well, if you know what I mean. The mailman still flinches when he sees me coming. But in all seriousness, this DIY kit, it's a it's a lifesaver, folks. Saved me a trip to the fancy doctor man. Saved me a fortune and probably saved my marriage from an endless stream of mini ciders. Although the wife still makes fun of my high school pitch giggle for some reason. So if you're a man who likes to take control, who appreciates a good bargain, and maybe has a slightly higher tolerance for pain than the average fella, then this DIY vasectomy kit is for you. Just remember, I ain't a doctor, and neither are the folks that We Stand Corrected, so use this information at your own peril. But hey, at least you can say Justin Sider endorsed it.
I go ham on a bullet beat combined to Il Brio. Call the homies up and make tracks with my people. Cause when we join forces, we know that he is with us. We talk to him and keep a strong witness. So when I say I'ma take you to church, I really take you to church. With every poem that I write, it's much deeper than a verse. Just to let you know you can have what we have. In that place we call him up and speak with our dad.
Thanks to Justin Sider with that testimonial. And a big shout out to Illustrate for presenting us with this first music here on the podcast. Episode 10. Here we are, Curtis.
All right, thanks, Justin. Thanks, Illustrate. Oh man, I can't believe we're already on episode 10. Yeah, I think tonight Joe and I were talking a little bit earlier. We're going to touch a little bit about our hometown, Colorado Springs.
Home it is. I mean, we're talking about Colorado quite a bit, and so I think we're going to just focus on one area this time, huh? As we did in Southwest Colorado on episode 9.
What's your favorite part of the Springs, Joe?
Oh man, I think it's that view of America's mountain.
I would have to agree. I think it's you see it everywhere you go in the Springs.
You do.
And this time of year, it's beautiful with the snow on it.
Yep, and you can't miss it wherever you go. And even though I'm not there anymore, I still can see it from where I live, and I'm 70 miles away, man. It's crazy you can see it that far.
Oh, have you ever been to the top?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we talked on one of the shows. I recently, 2 summers ago, took the Cog Railway up there. Have you ever taken the Cog up there?
I've never done the train. I did the Pikes Peak Highway, though.
And I did the highway when I was a kid, but I don't remember it. But I took the Cog up there because they remodeled all of that since Broadmoor bought it. And
right,
the trains are super nice now because when I did it as a kid, so I've gone up the highway as a kid, and my grandparents took me on the original Cog also when I was a kid before they redid the tracks and the Broadmoor bought it. The original train didn't have heat or air conditioning. So as you go up the mountain, if you wanted to be warmer, you had to shut the windows. Because when you get up 14,000 feet in elevation, it still can be 30 degrees in the middle of summer up there, which I think like highs are only in the 40s. So as it got colder, you had to shut the windows on the old one. But as you go up, I mean, you get a whole bunch of scenery up there just with animals alone, man. And you see anything from elk, bighorn sheep, rams. I mean, you get it all. And when I went up there a couple summers ago, we went up during a thunderstorm. And once you start getting above timberline in a thunderstorm, the lightning is
Oh, that's
so
right. I remember the
wild.
story.
Yes. Yeah, the lightning is if if you were out there standing by yourself, you wouldn't stand a chance. I mean, I've never seen lightning like
Yikes.
this. And so as we were going up, I guess lightning hit one of the boxes that switch the tracks over, and so the trains were stopped, and then we had to wait for the lightning to pass because then nobody could get out because then they had to manually switch the tracks. So they had to get out and switch the tracks because as you're going up, it's one way on the way up, and then there's certain places where you have to stop and wait for a train to go by because then there's two sections of track for passing. So the lightning hit that box, and so we're sitting there for like 30-45 minutes, and because you got to wait 30 minutes after the lightning storm, and then these guys have to get out and manually hit the track. So I mean, it's the most wildest thing, dude. Lightning flashes were hitting everywhere. And then once you get to the top, though, it's pretty awesome sight. I don't know what you remember about the top.
You know, I wasn't there. I didn't get a chance to see the brand new visitor center yet, but I'm hoping to get back up there sometime this summer. But when I was there, it was the old building, and they had the gift shop, a little viewing, little viewing mezzanine you could stand on. And I remember seeing, reading the literature up there, where if you look out in the distance, you're actually looking at the plains of Kansas. You're so high.
Yeah, yeah, I can believe
But
that.
it was cool. It was a cool experience. We saw plenty of bighorn sheep on our way up there. As you come down the Pikes Peak Highway, it's like you got to keep everything in like between third and first gear, just so you don't wear out your brakes.
Yeah, it's steep and it's a lot of switchbacks, isn't it?
It's constant hairpin turns, and I can't imagine those race cars that go up there and go 100 and 130 miles an hour through there.
Yeah, every summer they do that, huh? I think it's around every 4th of July weekend they do the Pikes Peak.
Yep,
What's it called? The Pikes Peak.
Pikes Peak International Hill
That's
Climb,
right. Yes. And so that's
and
I have never seen that. Have you seen it?
it is actually the oldest race in the United States for motorsports, before the Indy 500 even.
Man, that's freaking awesome,
No,
man.
I've
I
never been
forgot
to
all
it, but
about that.
I
And
want
that
to.
was
You know, I love watching the YouTube, the videos of it every year, but I've never seen it live.
yeah, and they used to put it on ESPN every year.
Yeah, it used to be aired live, and I don't know if they still do or not.
No, it's not on ESPN anymore. But I didn't know this when I went up there a couple summers ago. I didn't realize they were known for their donuts up at the shop up there. Did you know that?
Oh, at the Summit House.
Yeah, you're supposed to get a donut every time you go in there, and I didn't know that.
I'd heard about that. I guess I never really understood what all the rave was about there.
But I was gonna go in there and get one, but since we were put behind with the lightning, you couldn't get one because the line was so long, or you're gonna miss your train. We were the last train out on the way out, and if you miss your train, you're hosed.
I'll be danged. Well, you'll have to come up with me sometime this summer. I'll buy you a donut.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have to go back up. Do you remember how many summers ago we drove up a little bit on the drive up there, and we went fishing, and they got 3
Oh
lakes up there.
gosh, it's been probably 8 years ago.
Was it that long?
8 or 10 years ago. Yeah.
Well, I was the first
No, we
guy
went up
that
to Crystal Reservoir.
yeah, I was the first guy you probably ever caught fish with in a while. I brought you to the right place,
Yeah,
using the right stuff, man.
especially on a Castmaster on a lure only lake.
Yeah, that was North Catamount. Yeah, so those are good trout fishing lakes if you can get up there and it's close from the springs. Like that's why I like going there because when you're in the springs, you can get to the mountains so much faster than you can from Denver. And I think I can still drive south and go up to those lakes faster than I can get to another mountain lake out of Denver going west.
Well, I'll tell you, folks. Joe was touching on how the temperature is so different up there. When he and I went, gosh, I think that day it was probably in the high 80s or low 90s in Colorado Springs. And when we got up there, it was like 3:30 in the afternoon, and it was about 55. It felt like fall. It was so crazy.
Yeah, it's freezing. But there's good fishing up there, there's good views. I mean, it's nuts. It is nuts.
Yeah, and those lakes are they're crystal clear. It's unbelievable. It's like you see in a postcard.
So what else do you like, man, about being down in the Springs?
I'm a big history guy, though. You know that. I mean, I love the downtown scene and all the old historic buildings that they still have down there.
Yeah.
Um, I love all the local breweries and little pubs that we have, and everything's artistic. Like Colorado Springs has these sculptures all over downtown and nice parks.
Yeah.
It'll always be home for sure.
Yeah. There was always a bar scene in the younger days. You remember you were a big Cowboys guy.
I used to go to Cowboys a lot, man.
Man, I will tell you though, nothing used to beat those $10 all you could drink pitchers they used to give you.
Oh yeah, you'd pay a $5 cover, go to the bar, and you'd pay a $5 deal, and it was every Friday night,
Yeah.
and it was all you could drink mini pitchers.
And you'd get, yeah, I mean, those pitchers were where it was at. I wonder if they still do that. That's not my scene. But that was
Yeah, I haven't been in years and years. My last time I was in there, my wife drugged me out because I was going to whoop somebody.
I will tell you, yeah, last time I was in there, it was, if they still do those mini pitchers, I mean, man, this had to be like when I was 22, 23. And I got so drunk off those pitchers. I remember walking into the men's bathroom, and you could probably attest for this. You know where I'm going with this. And I was lit.
Let's just say they have a very unique sink at Cowboys.
Yeah, and so as you walk in, you see this low lines. It's a sink, and to me, like I thought of it like as a back in the day fucking tub you used to piss in. You know, like when you stopped at the rest areas, and it was
A communal urinal.
yes. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Well, so that's what I associated it with. Me being my first time in this bathroom, and so low, it was so low, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, "All right, here we go, here we go." And
Is there somebody standing
and
next to you
so
washing their hand?
I'm pissing in the sink, and, and I think another guy was peeing next to me, and I think that's what drew me off. So I was like, all right, so we're just two dudes pissing in a sink here, not realizing it. And then so I finish, and shaking it off, giving it the old shake. And then I remember looking over and some guy's washing his hands, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I better get the fuck out of here. I just pissed in the sink. So oh, well, wasn't one of my brighter moments in life, Colorado Springs, I'll tell you.
I bet you're probably not the only one that's ever done that, though.
I think you have a similar story to that, don't you?
No,
You didn't
I
do
don't
the
think
same
so.
thing. I could have swore you had the same story of doing the same thing one night, and
There was one time I was really thinking hard about it because it threw me off too. I didn't actually follow through with it though.
well, you might have been a little bit more sober than me at the time. But yeah.
Yeah, well, it's easy to get unsober at that place, or it used to be.
Oh, that's enough of Cowboys. Let's move on from Cowboys. You know what? One of my favorite things is the Manitou penny arcades right before you head up the mountain towards Pikes Peak.
Oh yeah, that is awesome.
So if you haven't got a chance and you're driving up towards Pikes Peak and you're going through Manitou, stop in at Manitou because there's a lot of cool shops in there. But one of the history side of that is the penny arcades, and they got a lot of cool games in there. But one of my favorites is the horse races. Do you remember the horse races?
I do, yeah.
So you took this ball, right? And you're lined up. It's almost like skee ball for a horse race, basically. And you're lined up with like 8 other people in the same row, and 1 through 8, and your horse is that number. So if you're sitting at seat 4, you're horse 4. And so in moments of the Kentucky Derby, same kind of thing, right? The bell sounds, and you take this little ball that's like a skee ball and you roll it up the thing, and depending what hole you put it in goes how far the horse moves, right? And if you don't get it in the hole, your horse don't move. So you do this until somebody wins and goes all the way across. To me, that's the coolest game there, hands down.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking. The thing I like is the old antique video games, though. Like they have things you don't see anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a perfect example, the horse race or the full size skee ball.
Yep. Or even just classic
You know,
pinball, not even video pinball that they have now. It's classic pinball.
Right, exactly. And the coolest thing about Manitou is it's right on a Fountain Creek.
Yep.
So, you're the whole time you're in that Penny Arcade area, you hear water running, and it's really nice and just kind of a nice scene. And if you're into like mineral water, that's what Manitou Springs is actually known for, is it's mineral springs.
Oh, you
And
like
they
that
have
stuff. I can't stand it. It tastes like throw up.
it tastes like seltzer water to me.
No fucking way, dude. That is the
But they
worst
have I
stuff.
don't know how many different springs named after old pioneers, and
Yep. And people
you,
come
you
by
know
with their
they're all
jugs by the gallon and start filling
oh
that up
yeah.
daily. And then there you are drinking it just like it's out of a water fountain, man. And I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, I
A
know how
little
you
bit
like
goes a long
faucet
way,
water.
though. I will.
So does everybody else. They all know how you like to drink out of the faucet water, straight from the tap.
The faucet, shit, the hose.
Yeah, the hose. Yep.
I'll
And
be outside in the summer mowing my grass and have to take a break. We'd get a swig out of the hose.
I could do that. I don't mind that. But the Manitou spring water, you got to be on a special taste bud trip for that one, man. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Yeah. And, speaking of that, talking about Fountain Creek and running through there, remember when we had the Waldo Canyon fire?
I
And
do.
once the Waldo Canyon fire was done, every rainstorm we got like severe rainstorm after severe rainstorm. And remember how the flash floods would just run down through there in the middle of that?
Oh, it was crazy, man. It was actually flooding that town out.
Yep. And it would be a river coming down Highway 24 as you go up to like Pikes Peak. They'd have to close the road because it would be like rapids coming down there, wiping cars down the road.
Or mudslides or,
Mhm.
falling boulders and all kinds of, you don't think about the things that all that vegetation stops.
Yep. They still got a bounty out for that.
I bet they do.
Yeah. I think it's still like 100. It's something ridiculous, like 100K or something like that, I think now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a great
And
time
it
for
was
me to.
arson. I think they did rule it.
Yeah, it's probably a great time for me to tell them that you did it so I can get that money.
I would never do that.
I know you would never be
In your
stupid.
dreams.
Oh, yep. Well, it's time for our sponsor to come in. Here we go.
Hey there, We Stand Corrected listeners. Are you tired of standing corrected on your knowledge of, well, let's just say sensitive subjects? Hey, Joe, did you know that the average man spends 6 months of his life shaving?
Curtis, I think you're missing the point of our podcast.
Fear not, because we've got just the thing to spice up your knowledge base and keep the laughs rolling. Introducing the We Stand Corrected ED Survival Kit, the ultimate guide to navigating the ups and downs of erectile dysfunction.
That's right, folks. With our survival kit, you'll be equipped with everything you need to tackle the topic with confidence and humor.
Inside, you'll find helpful tips and hilarious anecdotes, and even a mini pop-up book to explain the birds and the bees in a whole new way. Plus, with our exclusive ED emergency button, you'll have quick access to witty comebacks and fun facts to lighten up the mood in any situation.
And for a limited time, use the promo code STIFFCOMPETITION to get 20% off your first ED survival kit.
That's right, folks, so don't let ED stand in the way of your laughter. Order your We Stand Corrected ED Survival Kit today. We Stand Corrected ED Survival Kit, because sometimes the best way to face a hard topic is with humor.
All right, and we're back. This next segment brought to you by the We Stand Corrected ED Survival Kit. Let's get into our dad jokes of the day, Curtis. All right, I got one for you, buddy.
All right.
So today I was at the bank and an older lady asked me to check her balance. So I pushed her over.
Okay. She didn't have very good balance, I take it.
She was broke.
You know why bees have sticky hair?
Why is that?
Because they use honeycombs.
All right, so you've heard of Murphy's Law, right?
I have.
Have you ever heard of Cole's Law?
No.
It's thinly sliced pieces of cabbage with dressing.
Oh, Jesus. You know why the bicycle fell over?
Why is that?
Because it was too dang tired.
It was too tired. Yes, it was. That's right. Well, thank you to the We Stand Corrected ED Survival Kit. All right, buddy.
All right, man. Did you want to talk a little bit about what you have recently been going through over the last it seems like 3 months now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we can go there. I recently found out like I have like this iron metabolism disorder. And so it's basically where I found out my body doesn't absorb any iron, and I don't know why. So I'm still in that process of figuring that out. And so I go into my doctor just for a random checkup. And I haven't got my physical in a little bit, but it's close enough. And he goes in, why don't we check blood? I said, all right, sure. And through this whole time, I felt fine. I don't feel anything different. And so my blood work comes back and it shows like I have like these super high liver enzymes, right? And he goes, super high iron. So these two are all off, but everything else is like great. So I've been through the process of these last few months of like trying to figure out why I don't really have any answers. And so done blood, I've seen special doctors. And now the next thing is they've checked my liver with ultrasounds and all this, and everything comes back and looks good. Liver looks good. I mean, the alcohol hasn't killed me yet. And you know me, I ain't a heavy drinker anyways, but no cirrhosis.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, not like the younger days, the younger Joe when we were out in Vegas and whatnot. But so then they're like, all right, well, we don't have a lot of answers, so we're going to end up doing a liver biopsy on you because that's the gold standard. So the other day I go in and it's a procedure and they stick lidocaine in your stomach and they go, you want some type of cocktail to sedate you? Or do you want to just be awake? And I was like, well, how fast is it going to be if you just give me the lidocaine? Like 2 minutes. Oh, shit. No brainer. Give me the lidocaine. Let's go. That way I can be done. So they hit me with this lidocaine. And have you ever been hit with lidocaine?
I never have, no.
Oh, dude. So he goes, it's going to feel like a bee sting, but it's like times 10. So you feel this thing go into my gut. And it's there. And the lady that was working with him, the nurse, was like, it's going to be about 15 seconds. And it's about the longest 15 seconds of your life. And he goes, all right, here comes more. And you can feel him just sticking it down even further. And you feel it just like filling your abdomen. And you're like, come on. And you're just counting time. And 15 seconds feels like a fucking eternity. And get done. And he's got like this little gun. I don't know. I can't see it. He's like, you're going to hear this crack. And it goes, and that's them getting, the injection or whatever out of my liver, like little pieces of my liver coming out. And they did that 3 times. And
wow.
So, yeah, straight awake. And so still waiting on those results to see kind of what happens. But, it just goes to show like everyone should just go in for that yearly checkup because you don't know what's wrong, or you might not know you have anything wrong. Like I feel fine. I don't feel like I'm dying. I feel normal, at this point. And so it's just a random check.
Don't look unhealthy.
No, just a random checkpoint is what got me here. Somebody's saying time to change oil. Got to rotate the tires a little bit. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Well, I guess the good thing is about going this far with it is you'll find out for sure what's going on. And, most certainly it's going to be something that's treatable and take care of.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully so. So, like it's kind of weird how I got in that position, and normally I don't have blood drawn a whole lot. Nobody worries about it, but it's a good thing I just went in, to find those things. And so that's
absolutely
the process I've been dealing with. And, I was worried about the whole thing. Like, what's this going to entail? You slicing me open? Like what? Nope. It's just a little, so tiny, man. And it just goes in and they use it they use an ultrasound to find like the best entry point just to go straight through your skin to the liver. So they don't hit anything else. And boom, I was done.
Crazy.
I was done in like 2 minutes.
I know. I was talking to Joe not long after he got done, and I was telling him jokes. He's going, "Oh, don't make me laugh! Don't make me laugh!"
Yeah, well, it feels like you've had an intense ab workout afterwards. So this fucker calls me, and he's telling me about his day, I don't even remember what you were telling me about, but you were making me laugh.
I can't remember either. It was something stupid.
It hurts so bad to laugh. But yeah, fucker.
Hey, that's what friends are for.
That is what friends are for. Calling to check on me, man. So,
well, folks, what do you think, Joe? It's been about 30 minutes in.
Yep. You and I were just talking. We're going to send our Ancestry DNA kits in, and we're getting that process off. So stay tuned, folks.
Yep. And it takes a while. So, I mean, it won't be, it's going to be a few weeks at least.
Yeah. And we'll probably end our season right there on that reveal. Our first season of We Stand Corrected. So for all those listeners out there, stay tuned. Stay tuned. And a big shout out to Illustrate for putting on some music for us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And also don't forget to check out that DIY home vasectomy kit.
That's right. Or the ED survival kit. Sponsored.
ED survival kit.
They're sponsoring We Stand Corrected. So, and don't forget your CHS earbuds for those who can't hear shit.
Good night, everyone.
See ya.
I go ham on a bullet beat combined to Il Brio. Call the homies up and make tracks with my people. Cause when we join forces, we know that he is with us. We talk to him and keep a strong witness. So when I say I'ma take you to church, I really take you to church. With every poem that I write, it's much deeper than a verse. Just to let you know, you can have what we have. In that place we call him up and speak with our dad. Cause truth is, he's just waiting on us to take a moment and be honest. Just to talk and not act so tough. Cause he can always see past our bluff. We've all done some dirt, but that price was paid. He found a way to heal every mess that we've made. He knows it all from the darkest things that we can fathom. Now it's time to get it right, homie, get at him. I'm speaking to the part that seeks God in all of us. Not just here, speaking to an audience. Get your prayers up, start calling out. Cause he is real, no need to hold out. I'm speaking to that part that seeks God in all of us. Not just here, speaking to an audience. Get your prayers up, start calling out. Cause he is real, no need to hold out.
Gotta give it up, living life through him now. Tear that sin down, bring honor with that pen down. To the paper, pray you erase the major. Idols in my life cutting close like a razor. Ain't trying to play ya, it all fades away. My savior in a manger, answer is called today. Let go of that baggage, heading down my path. Put stock in the system till I watch it all crash. I pray you wake my heart, King Nebuchadnezzar. Praise the idol when that trumpet blows, something I could never. No trading in my blessing, looking for something better. I know you'll bring me through the storm, no matter the weather. Lay it all out, putting God in everything. Open my eyes to never let the devil reign over my life, over my heart, over my soul. God, bring me back to the start.
I'm speaking to the part that seeks God in all of us. Not just here, speaking to an audience. Get your prayers up, start calling out. Cause he is real, no need to hold out. I'm speaking to that part that seeks God in all of us. Not just here, speaking to an audience. Get your prayers up, start calling out. Cause he is real, no need to hold out.
My identity, I bear the image of a deity. No, I'm not a god, that would be idolatry. The pride of Lucifer expelled him from the heavenlies. Responsibility of Adam was to serve and keep. The serpent deceived, it affected all his progeny. Ethical relativism, they create their own morality. The age of the Enlightenment extended this mentality. The holy scriptures object to this depravity. Inscribed this moral law in the hearts of all humanity. The only difference you suppressing is reality. A mad fallacy to use the analogy of drowning in a sea, then get rescued by a boat. This implies effort from which a man can boast. I was a cold dead corpse at the bottom of the seafloor. The Holy Ghost renewed my soul. God brought me to the seashore and breathed life into my nostrils.
I'm speaking to the part that seeks God in all of us. Not just here, speaking to an audience. Get your prayers up, start calling out. Cause he is real, no need to hold out. I'm speaking to that part that seeks God in all of us. Not just here, speaking to an audience. Get your prayers up,